This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
A storm system that brought a lot of moisture to northern Nevada has now moved on. A look at the impact of all this snow it left behind as Stormwatch tops Channel 2 News at 5. We haven't seen snow like this in northern Nevada
Years
it feels like, right?
Sure does.
It's pretty impressive out there. Good evening, I'm Wendy DeMonte.
I'm Kristen Remington. Thanks for being with us tonight. Let's get right to it. We have Stormwatch team coverage for you. Chief Meteorologist Mike Algers in the Weather Center with the odds of icy conditions overnight. And Aaron Breen is live in Southwest Reno with more on how the tree removal business is in high demand today after a lot of damage out there.
A whole lot of damage. Plus, Amanda Ketchledge is live at 395 and McCarran Boulevard with a look at how the snow is affecting the commute and how residents are digging out from a lot of snow in the North Valleys. Mike, we're going to start with you tonight. Could we see black ice tonight?
Oh, I think without a doubt you have that possibility wherever there's any water left on the road and there's still enough snow even piled up on the sides of the road if they were dry during the day. That's going to be melting off this afternoon to a certain extent, and it is certainly going to be cold enough with our skies that right now are crystal clear outside. You get clear skies with some snow on the ground. You're expecting some very, very cold temperatures. Take a look first of all at what's happening across the area. We have seen the low that kind of set all this up our direction is beginning to move off. In fact, it's moving off fairly quickly. The low is kind of swept on now. It's down in southern Nevada, taking most of its moisture with us, and now we're seeing our skies clear off with a ridge building up offshore here. We're going to be looking at a little northerly flow here tonight, and again with clear skies we do expect some very, very chilly temperatures indeed. If you look at the next 24 hours, not much happening in terms of cloud cover coming our way. We're going to continue to be mostly sunny with maybe just a few afternoon clouds. Now in terms of that, high temperatures today only reached 42 here in Reno, and if we look right now currently across the area, we're already down a couple of degrees from that. Now a lot of people are wondering, okay, how come we got so much snow yesterday? It was because of what we call lake effect, and people wondering how does lake effect work? There's some misconceptions about it. First of all, Lake Tahoe, a big body of water, and at this point it is relatively warm. You may not think of that if you jump in, but it's probably between 50 and 55, maybe 60 degrees across the area. And when you take cold and unsettled, unstable air and run it across that, a lot of people think, well, it just picks up water from the lake. It's not the water, it's the heat from the lake that influences it most, and you get some lift off of that. And if it's unstable enough, it continues to lift well past. It gets a little lift off the mountains there, of course, down near Incline Village, and you get a big long plume of snow that has been that can sometimes stay in one place. We've seen it before where it's put down as much as a foot to 2 feet of snow. In fact, some places in our North Valleys did that, and this is a picture from yesterday during the height of it there. You can just see all of that plume just continuing, one single band that didn't seem to move for like 3-4 hours, and that's why we had such great snow amounts. Actually got more down here in some places than did in the mountains. We do have some more perhaps coming by the end of the week, but until then, bundle up tonight. We'll tell you more about that with a complete forecast here coming up a little later in the show.
Excellent explanation. Okay, Mike, thank you. And with the heavy snow, dispatchers received many reports of downed power lines and broken branches that brought a tsunami of power outages. John Potter checked in with NV Energy and made a trip to one of Reno's hard-hit neighborhoods.
Like the rest of us today, those who live on Moore Lane woke up in a different world. They didn't get much sleep either.
We heard a bunch of cracks, you could hear them. It's like thunder.
The big cottonwoods cracked the loudest, leaving huge limbs littering the ground. One loud crack came right from Kay Blakely's front yard.
Thud.
Her power outage hit early.
Our alarm system was beeping, and that's what woke me up about 1:45.
And as the snow piled up, so did the outages.
The highest that I saw was about 35,000.
Take a look at this big tree branch. This is right here at NV Energy headquarters. There's another one right over here. How this happened isn't too hard to understand. This is very heavy, wet snow. You can kind of see that clearness in it, that moisture. And it came down for hours, piling up on branches and breaking them down. Back on Moore Lane, it was a school day for Cassie Crumpets, but not a full one.
We had 2-hour delay, and so I came out and I was playing soccer in the snow.
While Dad cleared it the old-fashioned way. This snow is so heavy, the snowblower couldn't do the job. Next door.
When the power goes out, everybody looks out the window to see if everybody's power is off, right?
Mike Blakely was enjoying some luxury thanks to his generator,
This one's a 13 kW, which is enough to power the whole house.
which neighbors relied on for coffee and TV, while they all waited for NV Energy crews to get the power back. It was a very long wait. Many don't understand why the power company can't give an estimate when power is restored. Can you explain why?
You know, it's difficult to know because every situation is different.
Still, despite his dark, cold house, Tom Kruppets holds no ill will towards the Sierra Cement.
It's an inconvenience, but it's nothing major. I welcome the water. I think we all do.
Covering Stormwatch, John Potter, Channel 2 News.
Nice families there. And as of 5 o'clock tonight, 8,900 people are still without power in Washoe County.
And Wendy, another big impact of the storm last night, all the downed trees in the area. Aaron Breen joins us from Old Southwest Reno, which saw a lot of damage just because there are so many trees in that area. Aaron, I know you saw it in your own neighborhood.
Yeah, we're right on the corner where I live. A lot of trees in this neighborhood, Kristen. A lot of branches that came down. Now, everybody, I was pretty busy working all day. Everybody else had time to clean up their trees today before, and so that's why we're using this corner. I haven't had a chance to get out and do this, but most of the people in this area in Old Southwest Reno were pretty busy all day long. Gee, I kind of thought we'd be seeing front loaders moving snow long before we had this kind of tree cleanup, but this is what last night's storm left in its wake. Limbs down all over town.
Homeowners should inspect their trees now, especially after this, make sure there's no big broken limbs that can fall, break, land on a car. They have children, they want to make sure they have those limbs removed.
The city of Reno has 22,000 trees that it's responsible for, and they have 4 people on staff right now to check on them, which had everyone scrambling this morning. Last night was just a perfect storm of conditions for this mess.
Wet snow coming down real hard and fast, so it's very heavy. Trees behind me, we have a lot of leaves still on trees. Some have dropped their leaves. That adds to the weight.
And neighbors all over Reno were well aware of that last night.
It was just kind of crazy. I walked outside and I first noticed my power lines sparking, smoke, trees. All the top of the trees around here just started cracking.
The boughs just were cracking all over the neighborhood last night. You could hear limbs just crack, crack, crack and fall.
Lots of broken limbs.
Did you get any at your house?
I got about 3 or 4 at our house, but we were out last night knocking all the snow off, and it's just a big mess down here.
The cleanup began this morning. Bubba cut up what he could for firewood. Lisa will use hers for mulch and for fuel. The city of Reno will check in on reports to see if they're city trees or private trees they're dealing with. And the local tree services, well, it looks like our early snowfall will make for their early Christmas. They expect to be busy for at least the next 2 weeks, nonstop. Now, here's the big thing you need to figure out, and that is whose trees are whose responsibility. A tree that's in a parkway like this, it's within, between the curb and the sidewalk, that's a city tree in most cases, right? Trees inside the fence there? Oh, I'm responsible for those. You better believe that. Now, they said that in individual cases, you really should check with your insurance company and just to make sure. But in most cases with a storm like this, any kind of damage is going to be considered an act of God. Covering Stormwatch, Aaron Breen, Channel 2 News.
You just need to move your fence back a few feet and say, not on my land. All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, cleanup is still underway to dig out snow in the areas north of Reno, some of which saw more than a foot of powder. As the snow melts, it can likely turn into ice with the freezing temperatures. Amanda Ketchledge is live from McCarran Overpass at 395. Amanda, how are things looking out there?
Well, Wendy, the main roads and the highways seem to be pretty clear at this point, but if you take a look behind me, the 395, it's pretty dry, so your commute should be pretty smooth these next couple days, but it's going to be those neighborhoods and apartment complexes where snow plows didn't go through as much that you're going to have to worry about. And further up north, like Antelope Valley areas, they're going to see the snow melt even less as they got several inches of snow these past couple days.
I actually took a ruler out this morning, took a 12-inch ruler, and it disappeared.
Residents in Antelope Valley say this is the most snow they've seen in the last 20 years. White powder piled up on top of houses, cars, and of course covered the mountains with several inches of snow. And it's making the roads slushy and difficult to drive on in some parts. So while snowplows cleared the main roads earlier, residents are cleaning up their own properties, but they're not complaining.
I'm kind of excited to be, held up for 2-3 days, just kind of enjoying a good winter, It's been a while.
And while you have fun in the snow these next couple of days, just remember to drive safely on the roadways. Covering Storm Watch, Amanda Ketchledge, Channel 2 News.